By Christmas, Liverpool are a point clear of Everton at the top, but West Brom are looking good with 2 games in hand.
To be home again in England, to be where I belong, when the lonely night
looking it open and there's a winning goal by Keegan.
I long to be
Keegan and that's 2.
In one of the worst winters in league history, over 100 matches were lost to the weather. A whole host of inventive solutions were tried. QPR's giant condom was the most imaginative, but ended up ruining the pitch. Tony Gubble was sent out to investigate.
A referee inspecting this bit of ground would have to say that it was unsuitable for a game to be played.
Unsuitable or not, poor old Motty turned out in all weather. And when the pitches were playable, boots and studs became the big talking point, with the multi-pimpled Astro boot catching the headlines. Now, when it came to studs, there was one man ahead of the field.
I'd been out in Germany and I'd got hold of some of these AstroTurf boots, which were quite a novel at the time. Bought them back, and the lads were all trying them on, and they were finding that on slippy conditions they could keep their balance excellently.
West Brom proved how effective they were when they met Bristol City.
After 11 minutes of a game the players weren't happy to start, Brian Robson's shot was parried and there was Alistair Brown to get his 10th goal of the season. West Brom, particularly Batson and Cunningham, gave a display of close control which would have graced a good pitch, never mind today's icy ground. Ali Brown put the match beyond all doubt.
I always remember Joe Rowe for Bristol City coming past me, and he got his old leather studs clattering on the concrete as he was going down the tunnel, and he was saying, you know, that's impossible, you can't play on that.
So having scored 3 the game before and being on top and before him, I ended up getting taken off after doing a fair impression of Bambi on ice.
In the FA Cup third round at Leicester, the debate moved from boots to tights, as midfield veteran Keith Weller turned out in some natty legwear.
On for Weller, peaks in the middle, so is Buchanan. It's got to be pulled back now. Weller might go, and it does!
I got some stick off the lads, you know, but...
you suggested that in fact belonged to your wife, that's not so?
No, like the girlfriend.
Well, Mal, what has persuaded you, really, to forsake the country life and those strawberry plants we were hearing so much about?
Well, I was very happy there, Jim, and I'm very sorry to leave the cottage and the garden. I was just getting it into really good shape. I got a new fork and a new spade, and I was very happy there. But Manchester City's got an affinity for me, and me for it. And I just thought that I would really regret it if I didn't take this opportunity to go to Manchester.
One of Allison's first games was a tricky tie at Shrewsbury in the FA Cup.
Watson again. Hay. Too big for Butcher. Maguire. It's there. Maguire the scorer, and the game Edo erupts. Well, what a revelation Shrewsbury have been. Full of ideas, full of confidence, and a lot of football. Maguire's caught it. Chapman, it's there! The stands at Dave Edo are shaking!
Dumped out of the cup, City looked to regain some pride in the Manchester derby at Main Road.
McElroy will take it and go through the gap. Corrigan out to meet him. If he can pull it back, he's got Greenough up into the 6-yard box. Comes to Koppel. And it went in, even though Corrigan got a touch to it. You don't have to know which set of supporters are doing the celebrating. McElroy taken by Jimmy Greenough. On for Koppel. He did well. Oh, that's a brilliant goal. That is a superb goal by Steve Koppel. Oh, he clipped that at such a lovely angle. Robson left for dead by a fine turn. They have looked better balanced, United, in all possible meanings of that expression, individually and collectively. Macari, McElroy, Ritchie! And the youngster can celebrate his debut in the derby match.
I never even thought about it. I didn't go and look at the team. I didn't go and look at the club. I mean, I'd advise every manager who's been offered a job, to go and look at the situation. But I suppose there's so many of them desperate to get jobs that they just take them. And I just took the Manchester City job without looking at it, which I think it was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life.
I am so serious about football. My missus said to me the other week, she said, I think you love Manchester City more than you love me. I said, I love Manchester United more than I love you.
Meanwhile, it's top versus second as Liverpool welcome West Brom to Anfield.
Dalglish trying to tempt his man in to make the challenge. Here's Souness. McDermott's in here. Dalglish! Albion bodies all over the place in the goal mouth, and Liverpool have scored. Look at the way Dalglish is running this match. McDermott, Fairclough. Oh, it's two! Daly Fairclough. Look how pleased he is.
Following a string of cancellations, Liverpool are making up for lost time at Derby.
Dalglish turning Morland. Who got back, but it's still Dalglish. Oh! A brilliant goal. Here's McDermott. Ray Kennedy. Oh, what a brilliant run by Ray Kennedy. Oh, what a marvellous goal. What an absolutely choice goal. He just waltzed through, sold the goalkeeper, and that is 2-0 to Liverpool. A goal that had class and quality written all over it.
By the end of February, Liverpool are 5 points clear with 2 games in hand, leaving the pack to battle for second place.
A small army of loyal fans and pressmen turned out to cheer Britain's first million-pound footballer into Nottingham. His new boss, Brian Clough, seemed more anxious to play squash than talk about his record deal.
I'll put that there just in case he makes a balls of it.
Brian Clough had 1 or 2 more surprises for his million-pound man.
I remember at the end of the press conference, a journalist asked, where I was going to play and when I was going to play. And, Brian Clough replied, he'll play when I select him. And that's the way it proved.
It was well known that nobody ever got star treatment at Nottingham Forest. In fact, I think Trevor's first job when he came to the club was to pour the tea for the lads at half-time or after the match. So it was a case of everybody being equal, and that was Clough's way.
New signing Francis was cup-tied as Forest met Arsenal at the City Ground in an FA Cup 5th round replay.
Stapleton and Sunderland just outside the 6-yard box. And that is a beauty by Stapleton! Shilton never moved to it.
Out of the FA Cup, but still in the European Cup, Forest had brushed aside the competition en route to the semi-final. But following a 3-3 draw with Cologne in the home leg, Forest had a mountain to climb in Germany. However, the Forest management team were optimistic.
I remember that Peter Taylor was adamant that we wouldn't get beat. I don't think I've ever seen anybody so sure about a result. He knew we'd run over there. And Peter liked a little flutter, and I'm sure he backed us.
Bowyer in the 6-yard area. Flicked on, there's Bowyer! Yes, he's got it! 64 minutes gone, and the Union Jacks and Forest flags being waved in the Mungesdorfer Stadium.